Hello, today is September 12, 2019. We're taking a quick look how the rubber straps look on the GMT Master 2. This GMT Master 2 was the first one with the ceramic bezel introduced in 2008 with the green GMT hand and the green GMT Master 2 letters. Later, obviously, they introduced the Batman, the Pepsi in white gold. Last year, the Pepsi in stainless steel with a new movement and a Jubilee bracelet. Earlier this year, the Batman with the new movement and the Jubilee bracelet. So this one again was introduced in 2008, and earlier this year, a few months ago, Rolex announced the discontinuation of this black bezel with the green letters. So this one came with a very nice, obviously the metal stainless steel bracelet. The middle part of this bracelet is actually polished. The side pieces are more of a nickel or satin finish, but the middle piece you can see from this angle is very shiny. It's polished, and some people like it, some don't. For me, I would have preferred just a nickel or a satin finish, not the shiny piece in the middle. Just a little bit low profile. That's one of the reasons I decided to check out the rubber straps. There are not a whole lot of high quality rubber straps. After some research, I decided to go with the rubber B. It came with a little black envelope with a rubber B letters on the top. Open that up, you have little instruction. But here's the actual rubber B rubber straps. My first reaction is obviously it's very, very smooth on the top side, and it's very soft, pliable, obviously. So the official description from Rubber B's website is vulcanize the rubber strap with, in this particular one, 316L10 buckle, no coating, no blends, or bonding. So it's very soft, easily you can twist it. Slightly firm in the top part, which I think there's a potentially piece of things in there to make this piece a little bit more firm. On the side, you can see it's a little bit thicker in the beginning and tapers down a little bit. So these are very light. I weighed it. It was only 0.67 ounces, a little bit over half ounce, or 18.5 grams. Extremely light. And in terms of the length, this piece is about 120 millimeters. This piece about 77 up to the end of the rubber band. Now, to me, the width of the band is very important. I almost feel like the Rolex, part of the reason maybe is to reduce the weight, the width of the band, the bracelet is actually very narrow. On the top is about 19 millimeters right here. Then all the way tapers down to 15 millimeters. Personally, I feel like 15 is very narrow. Looks very skinny. The rubber B is slightly thicker. It was about the same. The width-wise is about 19 millimeters right here at the line, because when you put the strap on, the top part is actually a little curve. It will curve to the shape of the case very nicely. So I measured at the line here. It's about 19 millimeters, same as the metal bracelet. But the bottom, it's slightly wider. At the bottom here, right before it curves in, is about 17 millimeters for this piece here. And here with the buckle at the end is actually about 18 millimeters, slightly wider, and I think that few millimeters make it look a little bit nicer. Again, it's very soft, very smooth. On the back, see, a little bit harder to see, but you have the rubber B right there. Same on this side, rubber B, I think it says Switzerland made, something like that. It has 7 holes, a little bit less than the competitor, the one of the main competitor, but I think for a lot of the folks like me that has a smaller wrist, that's the primary reason I picked this brand, because I think when you put it on later, you can see there's not a whole lot of tail showing on the other side of the wrist. Otherwise, it's just too much tail showing up. So I'm gonna go ahead, make the swap and come back to show you how it looks on the watch. Okay, so the rubber strap is on. So I actually decided today, September 13th, to test out the strap for the entire day, especially because today is a warmer day. Temperature in the low 80s. It's a little bit hotter for our location here. So I decided to try it for the day and see how it works when your wrist expand a little bit on a warmer day. So this video is actually taking about 24 hours after the first part. First look here, it looks great. I mean, the fit is phenomenal. It's really very nicely tight fit. You see the little curve on top. Take a look at the original, the metal. You see the curve on top, which is kind of interesting. Inside, I've never seen the inside actually has a little like a channel like that. So the curved, just like the metal, curved top, it fits very well in between the lugs. The side profile again, a little bit thicker over here and got a little bit thinner. Same on this side. And you can see the profile pretty much just drops down like that. It doesn't go too much out at this part or too straight. So which is really, really nice. And the fit is great. Again, it has the 7 holes. I think it's about 7 millimeters, roughly 7 millimeters. That's the distance between each hole. So let's put that on, see how it looks. There you go. Looks great on my smaller wrist, 6.5 inches or 16.5 centimeters. Let's take a look, little small turning. I like the very simple tan buckle, nothing too fancy. There's a bit of a space here, you can see. I'm using a 3rd hole basically right here. A little bit of space. So right now, obviously it's late at night, not as hot. I think during the day when it was really warm, the 3rd hole for me is about the perfect sizing. It's tight, but not overly uncomfortable, and it's not very loose either. And I think I mentioned earlier, the main reason I picked this brand, Rubber B, is because it's a little bit shorter. So you can see in a normal position, you will see a tiny bit of a tail over here. Just a little bit, right? A little bit, not too much. So I think that's fine. If it's too long, then it will be showing up here, then it doesn't look as good. So I think it's very clean. Again, smooth surface with a little bit of line here. Very clean look with the black die on the black bezel. I think it looks fantastic. A little bit more casual. Then obviously, as I mentioned earlier, it does, the shiny part of the polished here in the middle, and that's gone. So make the whole thing look more dark and more casual. Take another look here. So does it feel a little bit lighter? Sure. I think I weighed the metal bracelet with a few less links for a smaller wrist. is about 2.36 ounces or 67 grams compared to the rubber 0.67 ounces. So it's about 1.7 ounces difference. I mean, do I feel a tiny bit of lighter? Sure, but it's really not that much difference. I have to mention the Rubber Bee does make another one called a Volchromatic that has a little green line here, 3 different colors, a little green line, a red and blue to match whatever the green, red, blue GMT hand you have. But for me, I like the pure black. It just looks very clean, matches perfectly with the black bezel. Again, the fit for me is perfect. I think it's not it's not loose. It's not too tight, which I kind of like, because previously the bracelet I had it a little bit looser. On a hotter day like this, the third hole for me is perfect. So they did mention if it's a small wrist, as small as 5.5, I think, with 2 more holes to use, I think it should work. So yeah, so I think it's really nicely made. To summarize it, you have to see it to really and to feel it, to really feel the high quality of the rubber. Very nice, very smooth, flexible. Back a little bit shiny. I think it's the sweat a little bit. Yeah, I'm super happy. I think the price on this rubber strap is $240. Again, this is as of September 13. I think the price has been the same for a while. Certainly, you know, it's not super cheap, but consider the value of this watch. I mean, it's just being announced discontinued, so a nice used one I think will hit 10K pretty easily. 240 investment on a 10K watch is definitely for this kind of high quality rubber is well worth it, in my opinion. So there you have it, the Rubber Bee rubber strap for the Rolex GMT Master 2 116710LN model. Thank you for watching.